Can we talk about how Black men allow white and Latina women to feel like an upgrade over Black women? Because I'm ready. Conveniently, I'm ready too. How y'all doing? It's the Goddess Sneak Night. This is the Blackest Truth, where I take the not so easy topic of racism, white supremacy, break it down and make it easier for us to maneuver through. If we just look at that tweet, I'm so glad he brought this topic up. And maybe it was something that he saw maybe on TV, but I said, oh yeah, like this is the whole topic because I have a story. If y'all stay tuned, I have a story over this very same thing where I was the only Black woman in a group of Black men with non-Black women. Okay, so if y'all stay tuned, y'all gonna hear. So I'm gonna break this video down into two parts: where this is learned, like where Black men learn that white and Latino women are upgrade, or where they learn to feel this way, and how it happens. So it's not one thing about knowing what something is or knowing the existence of something. It's another to understand how it exists, how it works, how it functions. So, that's why I say I not only explain racism, white supremacy, but I break it down and make it easier for us to maneuver through. So one, we understand something. Two, we understand how it works. So in this video with these things, where do Black men learn this? Where, and it's not all Black men. You got some Black men, many Black men, most Black men who love us, who love our culture, who love our features and everything that we bring to the table. However, you have a handful, and y'all know it is a handful of brothers and sisters that have this ill, what I call undealt with, untreated self-hate and trauma, okay? So when did this happen? I got my notes if y'all okay with that. First, I say through simple observation in life. At some point, we as Black people start to learn where we stand on the totem pole of life in recognition to other non-Black people. After a while, when you like 3, you 4, you 5, you start experiencing things little by little that start to show you, oh, because I'm Black, I am relegated to this and I'm relegated to that. So a lot of what we learn, especially Black men who have this mentality, it's a simple observation. When you look at Disney movies, Cinderella, Snow White, Beauty and the Beast is this big brown with dark streaks all throughout his face. When he kisses a white woman, when he kisses Beauty or Belle, Belle means beauty. When he kisses her, that's when everything, he becomes a full live human. So simple observation, especially in our youth, formulate these opinions, right? And I don't want to scapegoat this. This is real. If we are going to understand the axiology of things, if we're really going to understand how we are made to feel this way and why we're here, we got to go through and start doing some checks and balances, starting to do kind of like a SWOT analysis over just our entire life. And then secondly, you have outside observation. So I can recall a time being in elementary, seeing white and Hispanic or Asian non-Black girls, Black girls that didn't look like me, girls that didn't look like me, receive just better treatment, be able to be in the front of the line, or get more compliments, or perhaps if I examined our test, their explanation got them an extra point or extra 2 points over me. And after a while, those observations as well, you start to take, well, maybe they are better. So life is showing you where you are on the totem pole. And a lot of these brothers have this experience and where they're learning. And then secondly, so, that's the first thing. Where does this happen? This happens oftentimes in youth. This happens by observation and just experience in life within the global white system. And this doesn't matter if you're born in America. You have people all around the world who feel as if because their complexion is darker, they are worse or they are relegated to a certain life. That is what white supremacy teaches. But then how it happens is because, see, as you're experiencing racism, as you're going through life, these are real microaggressions. So see, like, the reality is with dating Black women, it does come with a level of patience, or it comes with an understanding that there has to be a level of patience and grace on this woman's behalf because she's experienced more trauma. And that's very difficult because the Black man has also experienced more trauma. So, for example, you have brothers who get into relationships. I just mentioned in one of my lives, just this last Tuesday, if y'all, I don't know when y'all gonna see this video, the one with Megan Thee Stallion, the live I did with Megan Thee Stallion on it, and Dr. Stella Emanuel, Gloria Bambeau. I talked about at the very end, you have Black men who might have been committed to a Black woman, married to a Black woman, that if they ever go asunder or go apart, when they remarry, they sometimes do not remarry Black women. Sometimes when they get a divorce from a Black woman, who they choose to remarry is a non-Black woman. And I put that on marrying and being in a relationship and a partnership with a Black woman comes with a real life package of trauma, a real life, because in as both of us were going through that life and observations of, oh, okay, so the white girl is giving more, the Latina girl is giving more, the Hispanic girl, Angela Valdez, is so pristine and is so great. Ghost is willing to put his entire life on the line for her. Ghost is willing to put his entire family on the line. See, these observations, think about the Black boys and girls that watch Power with their parents every single season. See, this simple observation starts to take root when you get into a relationship with a Black woman, and then she starts to exhibit traits like Tasha. See, once you get into a relationship with a Black woman and she starts to exhibit traits like Tasha, then you're starting to say, it's this connection. When in fact, it's the actual system of white supremacy that is acted upon Black women our entire lives. So when you get into relationships with us, we come with more work. We come with the deal of not all of us, especially for those of us who acknowledge that we have been hurt, that we have issues, and that are readily working to destroy that and readily working to relearn, unlearn, relearn, and really start to get in tune with the things that white supremacy is taking us away from, because that's what I'm always going to attribute this to. We are in a system, we are in a world of a system that is built against us. So you got a lot of these Black men with Blade Pender Hughes mentions where, can we talk about how Black men allow white and Latino women to feel like they were an upgrade? They allowed them to feel like an upgrade because when they got into relationships with these same women, because the stress didn't look the same, they equated, oh, see, when I'm with her, she brings me so much peace. See, because remember, I'm gonna use Ghost here. We're gonna use Power as an example, because remember, even with Angela, she came with a great deal of issues as well. She wasn't void of issues. She wasn't void of stress. What she was on the show is she was worthy enough to put everything on the line. And I had to get into the series because so many of y'all was watching it and people was asking me questions about it. I did not start watching Power until maybe like season 3. So finally, once I got into it, I was like, oh, okay, I see what the hype is about. But then it was moments where I was so disappointed because all in all, it was like this full circle experience where I was like, man, brother destroyed all of his life over a fucking white woman. It's so sad. But this is the observation. These are real things that happen. And then you got some brothers who feel like the stress is little, or the stress doesn't come with non-Black women, and then they get into these relationships. They get into these relationships with certain women and they see, oh, all women come with BS. And I just have to choose which BS I want. But as a Black man, I would advise, as a Black man and as a Black woman as well, I would advise us to love one another because there's so much benefit in Black love. Oh my gosh. When you got the right love found and invoked with a Black person, y'all, that right there, it solidifies a whole area of your life. You don't even have to worry about something anymore. Now you can focus on building yourself. Now you can focus on your dreams. Now you can focus on your family. Now you can focus on a legacy. Now you can focus on those things. So always having us in riffraff or having Black men feel like non-Black women are an upgrade, or having Black women feel like when we have an opportunity to date non-Black men, like that's an upgrade. Having us feel like that, those two things essentially destroy the possibilities of what we could do. All the possible Malcolm X's and Harriets and Martin Luther Kings and, Toussaint Overtures and, Kwame Nkrumahs and Sheikh Anta Diop's and Winnie Mandela's, all of the possibilities we destroy, okay? So also, the system essentially is real. Y'all, the system is real. Like I said, with those Black men, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all, a close brother in my family after they got a divorce was mentioning, I'm thinking about just joining the other side. I'm thinking about, just leaving Black women alone. I love my women, but damn, that's what he said. And this is not the first time. I remember back in high school, I did a survey. This is so crazy, y'all. I did an experimental survey at my job. I was working in a public place where I got to interact with a lot of people. I did a survey. I asked all Black men, what exactly, if they were married, and what exactly they loved and they disliked about Black women. I swear to y'all, I did this experiment when I was like 16 or 17 at my job. And it was there, I got a pretty receptive feedback. It was one brother in particular. He was just kind of like, I just wish Black women would keep themselves up in their adulthood as they keep getting older. Just keep themselves up, keep trying to look good, keep trying to get better, keep trying to do the best thing. Black women, when they get older, they get overweight and, they just accept it. And all of this also is a part of white supremacy, sisters. Like, if we want to be honest, even brothers who are watching this video, if we want to be honest, a lot of Black women, because of the emotional discord that we feel within internally, eat out of comfort. And after a while, you eat and eat and eat and eat, and it starts to show on your face and your feet. And then, your dating becomes hard, your breathing becomes an issue, walking up a flight of stairs becomes an issue, and it's all because of a different root issue. It's not even a food that you're addicted to. It's the comfort that it brings living in a world of you just never not being enough. So this tweet that this brother gave and tweeted, y'all, what I'm saying is it's layered. It is layered, and I'm not making excuses for any Black woman. I'm just trying to explain, if Black man, you ever wonder why, when you get into a relationship with Black women, with us, why it seems like you might be getting more resistance than you would get with a non-Black woman. I recognize that stress comes from all women. However, when you look at the resistance from Black women, where does it come from? Why does it happen over and over? Why can't you just get through to us on a large communal level? Because the system of white supremacy is still real. And after a while, it makes the Black woman callous. And, so when you come into contact with a white woman, with a Latin woman who is reared to serve her man, who is reared to be quiet, not speak. She's just reared a certain way. She's reared to learn how to be able to use her feminine energy, her feminine side, to use her words, to use her maybe like a timeline. Maybe she waits until she acknowledges or addresses what she doesn't like. She's been reared that way. But see, the Black woman got work, got life. So a lot of things that our mothers probably wish they would have taught us, they didn't have time to. So sick children turn into sick adults, and then you're trying to date this sick person and you're not understanding. So after a while, you start dating these non-Black women. They're starting to treat you better on the surface, give you less lip, give you less issues, give you less resistance. And then you just give them an upgrade. However, that comes at a big, big cost. That comes at a big, big possibility. So if you are a Black man or a Black woman who takes that non-Black route, just know that comes with a big possibility. Put it like this. I'm gonna say like Jacquees. When it comes to Black men, I'd rather be with you and all your bullshit than a non-Black man and the possibilities, okay? Don't make me give y'all no stories of the people who got into relationships with these individuals and it just didn't work so well. Don't make me give y'all a list, okay? But let me tell y'all my story. Let me end here with my story. Y'all know I love saying, let me end here. I'm gonna tell y'all my story now. So there was a young black man that I was dating, on and off, and he had invited me out to a bar with some, I guess, some notable people. I didn't really know how notable they were at the time, but once I got there, I recognized it was like professional athletes, their friends. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. So he invited me to this bar to go out with them. Really, really nice scene. Of course, I wanted to make sure I look good just because, ladies, y'all know how we do. If a man ever asks you out, especially out to go publicly to be with his friends, then you know you got to look good so you can make him look good. So I did my thing. However, I wish I had done more once I got to the scene. So I get to the bar and I see the dude that I'm with. I see his friends, the athletes, I guess, and they're kind of like entourage or they homeboys. I just don't know who the individuals like person like each were. However, I knew that they were athletes and they had kind of like they homeboy who got the green, the homeboy who arranged this, the homeboy. If you know, you know. If you don't, just please ride with me, okay? So I got there and it was a pretty cool scene. I was like, okay, this is nice. And I noticed that all of these black men, with the exception of the dude that I was with non-black women. So at the time it was maybe about two or three girls in the section, two Hispanic young ladies, and then one like she kind of looked like mixedish kind of like looking chick. Now, I also want to have a transparency moment. Let me pin that with these three young ladies. I also have to acknowledge that the dude that I'm with most likely only is dating me and brought me around because of my complexion and because I am a woman who might fit the criteria of the look. However, y'all know I might be light skinned, but girl, still a field nigga up here, okay? Okay, I'm still going back out to the field and giving all of the juice. Giving all the juice. I got the keys. Mass asleep. We coming back and we busting up in here. So regardless of my complexion, my mindset is in a certain place. However, I have to acknowledge that this guy most likely is dating me and has me out and about because I'm mixing with his crowd. And he probably also struggles with a lot of the same things that Blade mentioned in this tweet. So I just want to put that out there that I recognize that I acknowledge that I'm transparent with myself. So two of the young ladies leave. One of them's kind of like a waitress. The mixed young lady is kind of like a waitress. She leaves. Another young lady leaves, and it's just kind of like me and one of the Hispanic young ladies. And we in the section. And at this point, I take the time to lock in mentally that I'm going to be everything that these brothers think black women are not. Okay, feminine, regal, quiet, meek, affectionate. So, I had my hand on my dude, like on his knee. I had my hand there. We were just kind of like laughing, giggling. I had like my body turns into his. I giggle and whisper in his ear. Yeah, I was milking. I was gassing that shit up. I was, and I could tell that the brother who had the non-black woman, him and I was having kind of like a little mental conversation. I was basically like, you could be having all of this and more, but you probably think that black women don't do this. So let me show you that your homie is dating a black woman who does do it. So you need to drop that chicken dinner and get with a winner. I know that's so lame, but that's kind of where I was in my mind, y'all. I was just kind of like, So, we was giggling, da 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 da. So afterwards, and you could tell like homegirl started to feel kind of like uncomfortable. So I was just kind of like, whatever. I want brothers that feel this way to feel the energy of knowing that one, you already know you wrong. Like it's kind of like an unspoken rule. Like you already know you wrong. But then two, I want you to see the possibilities of what you could have and what you could experience that you're missing out on because you don't feel like there are black women like me that exist. Okay. So and the football player too, because at that time he was just scoping the bar. He was just looking around. His girl had left, the waitress had left, so he was just for the streets. He was for everybody. He was the big baller. He was the one who called the woman that he wanted. So he was there. Afterwards, we leave. And then we go to another place. We go to a club. Now, at the time when we go to this club, it's kind of cool. And I noticed that the girls switch. So one thing about this is I wish I would have looked better. Ladies, like I had a scarf on and my scarf wasn't just it was okay, but I didn't take the time to make sure it was tightly wrapped, look in the back to make sure no strings was hanging. So it just, if you wear your scarf, you understand what I'm saying. I didn't make sure it was like nice and neat, but my outfit was cute. My makeup was done. I had wore some stilettos. So I looked good as far as appearance. However, when you dating men or you're around black men who love non-black women, hair is a big thing. So that was one thing I had wished, like, damn, had I known I was out here, I would have had a different type of look. I probably wouldn't have worn what I wore. I had like on this long sleeve, see-through, long jeans. Like I just would have wore something different to match the look of the women that were within that environment. So I kind of look real sister soldier is basically what I feel like. Your girl was looking real authentic, real African, because y'all know it's the goddess Neith. I'm a goddess, so I wear exactly how I feel. It's just for that environment, I feel like that was kind of like more of like one of those environments where it's less obviously African and it's more African American. I wish I would have looked more like an African American than African. However, I still held it down for the ladies. I still held it down. I promise you, sisters, I did the thing for us. When we got to the club, though, this is where I felt, okay, we have a mental issue. The way these black men was grabbing these women's arms and leading them into the section before me, the only, and when I repeat, ONLY, black woman, the only black woman, the way they just kind of like paraded or allowed the non-black women to go before me and sit. And I mean, mind you, I wasn't paying for shit, so gotta take that into consideration. Either way, I was just kind of like, me, the goddess, me, the African woman, Dink Nesh, the original. Like, what, me? Oh man. If anything, I feel like y'all should have let me in a section first because I am the only black woman. And these non-black women who you most likely will not have the longest future with are just jump offs, they're just temporary women. What I am your sister. Oh my gosh, y'all. I was just kind of like, that was that moment where they allowed non-black women, white and Latina women, to feel like an upgrade over me. And I was just like, oh, oh, oh. Girl, I was done. I was done. I was just like, ugh. But like I said, I was not there as a contributing member. So that might also be something. The men that contributed are the men whose women got to go first. So I also do acknowledge that. I just will say I felt that energy of black men really feeling like they had prizes on their arm because they weren't with black women. So even in the club, I carried the same energy. I made sure I was speaking softly to the dude that I was with, rubbing his arm, all the kind of things that men love women to do, to make them feel like they're just kind of like the center of attention. I was doing it. Yes, I was. Girl, if this was the dude's ego, I was. I didn't care that his friends was around. I didn't care how it made me look. I was letting them know, black women do it. We can do it. Either way, I say all that to say, there's a possibility that the guy that I was with has in his mind the same thing that these dudes had in their mind. Because birds of a feather flock together, and I probably barely made the cut. I probably am the very last shade of black that he would date before he said, "Oh, no, 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 no." This is a thing that I feel like, again, it's via observation, and then it's through the reality of when you get into relationships with black women. Sometimes we do give black men hell and high water, and after a while, they just get tired of it. yeah, it could be. It's only so much understanding and grace and patience that somebody is willing to extend before they say they're done. So sometimes black men just say that they're done with that black woman that they were involved with. But that black woman that they're involved with, they say, you know what, I'm done with y'all altogether. They date non-black women after that, and then they treat them like an upgrade, and then basically use their relationship as a way to scorn us, punish us, use it to draw resentment within us to say, y'all could have this if you just did this. Y'all could have this if you just this. If y'all could have this if you just this. So they get in relationships with non-black women, give them the world, and basically say, black women, y'all could have this if you were just this. And the cycle continues. But again, black love is revolutionary. And those of us who get it, get it. And those of us who don't get it, it's just, it is what it is. So I appreciate my homegirl for posting that. I appreciate Blade Pender Hughes for bringing in that topic because it was much, much needed. It is the Goddess Denise Knight. This is the Blackest Truth. I'll talk to y'all later. Mwah.